Let's keep things moving here on Radio Boss. We're going to say hello to Tetona Jackson, of course, plays the role, as a matter of fact, of Nina on Poppa's House, which premieres on Monday, as a matter of fact, on CBS. But you've seen her on BET's Boomerang, Hulu's All Night. What else has she been in? Good Trouble. She was in the film Housewives of the North Pole. So many other things. We'd be here all night if we mentioned everything, as Tetona joins us here on Radio Boss. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
You know, I let me start here. Tell us about Nina. Who is Nina, the role you play on Poppa's House?
Nina is Junior's wife, and she's kind of, she's kind of always reeling Junior in a little bit. Junior always has these extravagant things that he wants to do, and his imagination runs wild, but she's kind of always like, all right, let's bring it back to earth. Let's tone it down. But one of the things that I love about Junior and Nina's relationship is she is also very supportive of him and loves him wholeheartedly and unconditionally. And, no matter what happens between them, they always talk it through, they work it out, and they move forward.
Of course, so that's Damon Wayans Jr. And then, of course, you have Damon Wayans and then Essence Atkins, and then yourself make up the cast of Poppa's House. What was it like playing or doing this with this cast?
It's a phenomenal experience. I mean, being on set with them every day and working with this iconic group of people is. I have so many pinch me moments on set because I'm like, wow, this is real. This is happening. This is real life. And to be on set with people that I grew up watching and admiring is such a surreal thing to experience and go through.
Yeah. Is this a role that was presented to you? Did you have to audition for it? How did it come about?
I auditioned for it. I did audition for it. I did the Zoom audition, and then we did the in-person test where I did a chemistry read with Damon Jr. And then I booked the role.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tetona Jackson joins us here on Radio Boss. Of course, Poppa's House premieres on CBS this Monday. What kind of advice? You mentioned playing with this phenomenal cast, and in particular, when you're talking about Damon Wayans, Essence Atkins, also, what kind of advice, maybe life advice, actor advice, etc. What's something in terms of wisdom, maybe one of them imparted on you?
Oh, I mean, I'm learning stuff every day on set with them, and Essence has quickly become like a sister to me. And, any advice that I need, anytime I need to vent, anytime I need to just sit down and talk to her, she's there. But I learned so much from being on set with every single one of these people. Damon Wayans, and we have so many of the Wayans in the writer's room and on set with us as well. Kim, the episode that we're doing this week, Kim Wayans is directing it. And so I'm working with, amazing people left and right. And I've learned so much as an actress, but I've also learned so much as a human being. And I think just as far as advice goes, I don't know. This is my first multicam. So I came into this experience not really knowing what to expect because I'm so used to the single cam world, and coming into the multicam world, I was like, all right, I don't really know how this works. The schedule's different. The way we rehearse is different, but Essence has kind of held my hand through the entire process, and everyone on set has been so welcoming and inviting, and I couldn't have asked for a better group of people to work with.
I think that's interesting in terms of the single cam and the multicam. Did you find it, early on because obviously you've made the transition, and I think to make a transition in an environment like this with this cast with
Mhm.
this kind of show, it speaks to your talent level. Quite frankly, did you find it, however, difficult in the beginning to make the transition?
Not necessarily difficult. I think it's just the way it works is slightly different. So you have to kind of learn that new groove and routine. And once you're in it and you're comfortable with it, it's great and it's fun. And I love our process because it's kind of like putting on a mini play every week. So, the rehearsal process and the filming process is very different than a single cam, but I love it because you get to tweak things and work through things and see what works, what doesn't work, and work through it and see, all right, this time I'm going to try this time I'm going to try this. And by the time we get to actually filming the scenes and the show, you're very comfortable with the scenes and the episode.
Tell us, can you tell? Obviously, when you think about single cam and multicam, I think it, right? Like it kind of speaks for itself. But
Mhm.
like, what are some of the, for those of us not in the industry, what
I don't
are, yeah, what are like the differences?
So the main difference is yes, in single cam, we do have more than one camera, but the style of filming is different. There's usually just one or two cameras on set. And we do a table read and then we come to work and we get into hair and makeup, we rehearse the scene, we film the scene, then we rehearse the next scene, we film the scene. So essentially the days are a little bit longer, and that's how you work through the episode. But with multicam, we do the table read and then we go straight into rehearsals. And we rehearse the first day, we block the episode, and then whatever tweaks they make with the script, we'll get them that night. The next day we come back in for rehearsals with the writers, and we rehearse the episode again, go through the entire episode and rehearse it, tweak it, see what fits, what doesn't. And I think it's really cool because we have the writers on set that day as well. So we, after every scene, we sit down and we throw out ideas and we see what works in the scene, what doesn't work in the scene. But essentially we have 3 full days of rehearsals with a multicam. And then come Thursday, Friday, we just quickly, shoot through the entire episode and film the entire episode in 2 days. So the scheduling wise, and being selfish as a mom, I enjoy our schedule so much more than a single cam because I am able to split my time, be at work, but also spend time with my daughter at home. So it gives me a little bit more time with her.
Very, very cool. Tetona Jackson joining us here on the program. She plays the role of Nina on Poppa's House, which debuts Monday on CBS. So, like in doing research for this
Mhm.
conversation, right? You were a professional skater and a
I
good
was.
one. And
Thank you. I was, yes. I actually, funny enough, I grew up in Los Angeles, and you wouldn't think that there would be figure skaters out here. But yes, I grew up figure skating. I competed, and then I graduated high school. I've always been in love with the entertainment industry. I think it's because my dad is a jazz musician. So I kind of grew up in that world and being, going to different gigs with him and watching people perform. So, and then my aunt is a flamenco dancer. So I've always been in entertainment. I've grown up around it. So it's always fascinated me. And I think, when I graduated high school, I was like, I sat down with my mom and I gave her a full like PowerPoint presentation of why I should go on tour instead of go to college. And so I convinced her. and and she let me go on tour, and I was on tour with Disney on Ice for 4 years, and I was fortunate enough to play Princess Tiana, which was such a special role for me to play. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, but now, okay, which is great. But now you've been in competition also. You won a bronze. Like you're trying. Look, you're trying to downplay this thing. Like you were really, really good. You won a bronze medal in the competition.
I did. Yeah, I've competed nationally. I was, training to go to the Olympics, but essentially just it's very brutal figure skating on the body and just a lot of injuries, but I had so much fun on tour. I had a lot of fun competing. I just took my daughter to see Disney on Ice last weekend. And it was such a it was such an emotional moment for me because I didn't realize how much I missed tour until the show started, and I was like, oh my god, I missed this.
Right. Man, that is really, really cool. So I want to ask you about a couple of other projects. So what more recently, the show Good Trouble.
Mhm.
You were a part of that cast, and in kind of looking at your Instagram page, it looked like it really had a lot of fun with that.
I had so much fun with that show. It was a lot of fun to be on. Again, such an amazing group of people to work with. And I played a chef on that show. So I had a few lessons working with knives and cutting food. And my very first scene on that show was me in the kitchen and prepping food. And I was like, oh God, I was like sweating profusely. I was like, please don't cut yourself. Say the lines right. But again, it was a lot of fun to play. I had never played a chef. I had never, done a role like that. So I think it was very fun to dip my toes into that world. And yeah, it was a very fun show to be a part of.
And then you've done others, as I mentioned, of course, BET's Boomerang, but now Housewives of the North Pole. Like I hadn't
Mhm.
seen that. That's a movie. Was that like your first film?
It was not my first film, but it was my first Christmas film. So I was able to check that box. And funny enough, we filmed it in the summer, and like every scene I did, I was just sweating. But it was a lot of fun to film, and I would love to do another Christmas movie. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, somebody should be like Lifetime or Hallmark or someone should be calling you soon.
I would hope, yes, please call. I want to do another Christmas movie.
A couple of more moments with Tetona Jackson here on the program. Again, don't forget to check her out. Poppa's House premieres Monday on CBS. You're from LA.
Mhm.
I'm assuming you're still in LA. You're in the entertainment business. This has got to be a dream come true for you.
I got very lucky, yes, because so many people have to travel out here for work, and I'm very blessed to have been able to just grow up here and not have to really uh, make a huge move for my career. But funny enough, yes, I did grow up in LA and born and raised, but I think this is one of the first shows, like one of the first local projects that I've done. I mean, we did Good Trouble and Home Economics out here, but they were a little further away from me. Um, but Boomerang, I flew to Atlanta for that, and North Pole, we filmed in Utah. So it's funny how even though I'm from here, I still am like bouncing back and forth for work. But I'm very blessed and fortunate to be able to be home and not have to go anywhere for this project. And I have my entire family out here, so I love that.
Yeah, that's very cool. Now, look, I know you're not a sports fan. I got it. But look, I know you
It's
you
not
you
that I'm not a sports fan. I just
okay.
don't know anything about sports. Like I love
Okay.
basketball. I love watching
Okay.
it. I cannot tell you anything about it.
Okay, because I was going to ask. I mean, I know you've been to a Lakers game. Like I mean,
I
come on now. I
yes,
know you've been to.
absolutely.
Okay, I was going to
Yes.
say. I was
I've
going
been
to
to I've
say.
been to I've been to basketball games, I've been to football games, I've been to hockey games. Now, as far as sitting down and telling you what is happening in the game, basketball is a little easier for me. Hockey is also, because I grew up figure skating, I know more. Football, I cannot tell you anything about. I just know what a touchdown is, and that's it. So,
You've been to an SC game, a USC game?
no, I think the game I went to was a Cowboys game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably like the Rams.
I don't remember who they
were.
were. Yeah, I think they were playing the Rams.
Okay, gotcha. Last thought. We really appreciate the time. What do you hope that people take away from this project, Poppa's House?
I hope that they are able to walk away from this show and take away from this show the love that we have put into it, but also that is just in the show. There's so much love in the show, aside from, the obvious comedy, and you're gonna laugh. That's gonna happen. There's so many funny moments and hilarious moments and ridiculous moments, but there's so many real moments in the show as well. And you get to see this family work through so many true and real moments. And I mean, you have a real father and son playing father and son in the show, so you cannot beat that. But there's been moments on set where I've been watching certain scenes and I tear up because it's so raw and it's so real, and you get to see real human beings. So I think I love this show because you get the best of both worlds. You get to see a husband and wife working through their problems. You get to see a father and son working through their problems. And even Dr. Ivy Reed, who comes in and storms into Poppa's life, and she's like, I'm not going anywhere. You get to see her work through her problems, and a real genuine family. And even I consider Ivy a part of Poppa's family now. You get to see all of us working through these things, and you can relate to it. And it's a show that you can sit down with your family, your friends, your loved ones, your husband, your wife, significant others, anyone, and see this show and laugh and cry a little bit, slightly, not too much, but it's just a feel-good show. And I think it brings a little bit of what old school comedy was, old school sitcoms. You get to see that in this show. And I feel like we've been missing that. So it's cool to be a part of that.
Absolutely. Poppa's House premieres Monday on CBS. One of the stars is Tetona Jackson, who joins us right now here on Radio Boss. Tetona, really appreciate the time. Continued success in all you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Make sure to tune in Monday, October 21st, 8:30, right after The Neighborhood.